All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm not that late. How's everybody doing on this fine Wednesday? And it got hot again. Yeah, I was gonna go fishing this morning. The tide was pretty nice. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning. And then I'll have a members podcast out tomorrow. It was just a little bit too warm, but tomorrow's not supposed to be so bad. So we'll go fishing tomorrow. You get out there in the morning, it's already 82 degrees, man. It's hard. It's hard to. I would like to go. Prefer to go in the afternoons, but it's been pouring rain. So, also, before we get started, Kyle and I will be live over on the football channel tonight. Tonight will be the first in our summer series where we're doing watch parties for. Geez, my Ethernet cord keeps coming out. Hopefully that'll stay this time. We're doing watch parties for classic Dolphin games. Please pause for station identification. Why is this giving me a problem? I use these Ethernet ports so much on these laptops that popped out. Yeah, you hear that? Let's move this a little bit this way. I gotta get new Ethernet ports put into the laptops for sure. It's either that or get an adapter and have it just I'll have to work on that. When you solve one problem, two more crop up. So we got the good camera now with the original mic that I wanted. I figured out how to make that work, and now of course the Ethernet cord just doesn't want to stay in anymore. What can you do? Maybe I need a new cord. Maybe it's not the port. All right, let's go. Let's see what we're doing here. How you doing, Simon? So, the little trade between Edmonton and Tampa. Interesting trade. I thought I read it a few times, and it just kind of a little bit of a head scratcher. I don't know if maybe there was a falling out somewhere in terms of like somebody didn't want to play for somebody, or maybe Edmonton felt like Howard was a bit more ready. I think it's Howard that they got, Howard and O'Reilly, one way or the other. And interesting, it's always interesting when two teams trade top prospects. So must just have something to do with the styles that they play, and one guy being preferred as the other. But I think it's the kid. I think Edmonton just took that kid, right? The guy that they got rid of. Craig says early morning is your ideal fishing time. Yeah, I like the afternoon as the sun's getting ready to go down. I was actually going to go yesterday afternoon, but then about 6 o'clock, it was just massive, nasty tornado-sized thunderstorms. But if you can get out there on a nice night as the sun's going down, the catfish go crazy. Bill J says the snakes and peas eat 95 down here. I'm surprised I don't want to move back down. I'd be fishing every day. Money would have to be no object for me to move back down there. That's really the biggest. I mean, I love living here, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind living there part-time and here part-time, but the dogs are buried in the yard. They're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming from this house. Vincent says, old man with a big thing in front of his face. Yeah, I get it. Scott says, Howard didn't see a path or wasn't promised, similar to what we're worried about with Devine. Right. Yeah, the Edmonton kid was pick 24. Yeah, it's always interesting when they trade prospects like that. And more could happen that way with Florida, right? I mean, talk about not seeing a pathway any way forward. I mean, that's what happened with Sordiff. He's ready. He was kind of ready this year. You know what I mean? Like if the Panthers had just been a maybe bubble playoff team, like an Ottawa, sort of would have played this year. I kind of feel that way. Scott says, yeah, Mackey doesn't have a path. Well, Mackey's good. Mackey's good to go on that second line, in my opinion. Because he's got to earn his spot. He's got to earn his spot, no doubt. But eventually, at some point, we'll know what's going on with Tkachuk. And when he goes, well, he's technically on LTIR right now. So I think technically he's scheduled to come off LTIR on September 15th. So for all we know, it might be a situation where they're waiting over the summer to see if it heals. And then magically in September, they decide, no, he needs the surgery and he'll miss the whole season. Did I see drunk Panthers players assaulting a fan at the golf course yesterday? Let's put it this way. I didn't see anything. What's the word I'm looking for? I know people, not saying you specifically, but I know people make a big deal out of things and then they go watch it and you're like, what? So I would have to see it. And that's to see, who was it? Who did what? Anybody else know? Plus, they were drunk. Were they Leaf fans? What's the context, right? Remember when Brunette got his DUI on the golf cart? Were they still drunk? Were the guys still drunk on the golf course yesterday? Nick Tarnsky of threw a fan in the water. Now I got to look at this. Talk about misinformation. The drunk golf player was being a D-bag and angrily confronted former NHLer Nick Tarnsky. Who the hell is Nick All right, hold on. I got to look this up. Now I got information. Let's see. Now I'm interested. Nick Tarnsky. There he is. When the hell? He's 40. When the hell did this guy play for us last? All right, so there's the story. And it's a bit much to call him a Panthers player. Let's see. He was drafted by the Lightning, and the last time he played in the league was in 2009 and 10. He played 31 games for the Panthers. He's also played for the Lightning. That was the last time. Yeah, that's the last time he played in the NHL. Was 2009, 2010. He played 31 games for the Panthers, and he had played for Tampa Bay and Nashville previous to that. So let's read the story. Former NHL player, well, at least they're calling it former NHL player involved in golf. Let's go to Barstool. They're always accurate. He was in Red Deer where golf is available 8 weeks a year. I see. Yeah, so they got into a and even Barstool's like, I don't know any of the details. So yeah, I'll have to take a look. All right, so he was an enforcer. He was a hockey enforcer. He wasn't a hockey player who fought occasionally. He was a fighter who sometimes managed to play hockey. That's wild. Shocking, right? Hockey enforcer gets into fight at golf course. Poor dude. Vincent says so. To Petrie's wife runs a podcast on NHL YouTube where they mostly invite hockey wives, and lately they had Schmidt's wife and Panthers head coach wife. It's girl talk mostly, so a lot of backstage stuff. That's interesting. Hungry says, to be fair, he's as much of a Panthers player as Parros. And every time we get a favorable call, the whole league calls Parros as a Panther. Ain't that the truth? Taransky was recreating Game 3. That's funny. That's funny. All right, well let me see the video. Let me see the video here. Let's just do this. Let's move this real slow so I don't screw up my Ethernet. Just bear with me. We'll get it up. We'll get it pulled up on Twitter and watch it together. I might have to log into Twitter. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to get the old text here. But it's not like we got anything else. So let's watch this together. Oh, I didn't need to get the text. Okay. So let's see. Let's go find Spittin' Chicklets. Let's find it. No, that's not it. That's not it. How long ago did they post it? Oh, is this it? Yeah, okay. All right, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's I won't be able to hear it. I won't be able to hear it, but that's okay. I'll show it for you guys. Hold on, let me share the screen. Okay, you guys see it? Okay, here we go. We'll watch it together.
You guys need to get off the golf course.
Yeah, we will, man.
Go now. Like, pack up. Go
Come on,
now.
cameraman. Keep the camera on him.
Go.
You're not scaring anybody. You're just making
I don't.
Oh, come on,
Hey.
cameraman.
Come on,
Jesus.
man. Hey.
Oh, I didn't go in the water?
Hey,
Off to a good start, buddy. I fucking told you. Man, leave him alone.
you want another?
He
You
just
want one
fucking
too?
came at me. Leave him alone, man.
I got it all on record.
It's around the goal.
I got it all on record.
Around the goal.
Dude,
Hey,
you
go
picked
on,
the
fucking
fight
go,
within
guys.
four.
Hey,
I mean, they're all just like coming over to him.
You fucking moron. Hey.
Oh my God, he's just
Enough.
Are you still
just absolutely beating the pants off. This guy is so drunk.
Hey.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey.
The other dude's like, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
It's not okay.
Done? Are we done?
Fucking get moving. I said
Are we
stop
done
looking
now?
like an idiot.
Get out of here.
Fucking.
Wow. That was great. I got to listen to an audio. All right, let me go get my headphones. Hold on. I just got to get my headphones. Hold on. I'll watch it again. Hold on. I should have brought him in here. All right. All right. I got to get a second pair of headphones, so I've got one in here and one in my bedroom. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's get back to it. Share screen. All right. So you guys say the sound is important. So let's watch this again.
You guys need to get off the golf course.
Yeah,
Let's
we will,
fucking
man.
go now. Like, pack up, go now. Get in the car and go. You're not scaring anybody. You're just making yourself.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey. Hey.
Off to a good start, buddy.
I fucking told you. Man, leave him alone.
You want another?
He
You
just
want one
fucking
too?
came at me. Leave him alone, man.
I got it
Wait.
all on record.
Around the goal.
I got it all on record.
Around the goal. Hey, you want to fucking go, guys? Leave him alone. Hey, leave him alone, man.
I wouldn't keep going back, you fucking moron.
Hey, come on, man. I'm not trying to get in there. Enough!
Are you still cheering on you?
Enough! Get out! Hey.
Damn.
Things go well for
Hey.
him.
Get him the fuck out of here!
No, it's not going to go well for him.
It's not okay.
Take him home or get
I
him
asked
fucking
him
out of
to
here.
fucking get moving! I said stop looking like an idiot!
Get out of here.
Fucking
Oh my God. That's wild. Bam. That's freaking fantastic. Oh my God. And the one dude's like, tell him, hey, leave him alone. It's like he's the one that kept going up to the player. That's wild. That's wild, man. How do you get that angry? I would love to have seen or heard. I would love to have heard what transpired previous to that, right? Like what transpired previous to that because they was chatting for a while. Yeah, WWE contract coming up, right? Upcoming. I mean, you could tell he's a hockey fighter. He's just holding them and just bam. Oh, give that dude credit though. He did kind of get back up and go back for more. Oh man, drunk people, man. Drunk people. Oh, Rosario says I should tell the story when I got into a fight at school. So it was my first year of high school. And I was in the advanced classes. And the last class of the day was advanced science. So the point being is that I was a freshman and I was in classes with like juniors and seniors. And the way that the class was, since it was science lab, is you had like the long desks and two people would sit at each desk. And so I went up to the teacher to turn in a paper or whatever it was. And when I came back, the guy that was in the desk behind me pulled the chair out from behind me and I fell on my ass. Whole class laughed. He laughed. I just turned around and I'm like, after school. Now, at this point, I had never been in a fight before, but I was also a black belt in judo. So he was tall dude. I was short. And so long story short, we get outside, gave my book bags to my girlfriend and whatnot. And we're outside and he puts up his hands and he's a lefty. And so he swung and he clocked me in the jaw and I didn't feel a thing. And I'd never been in a fist fight before at that point, not where I actually had to come to blows. And so I just closed my eyes and swung as hard as I could. And when I opened my eyes, he was flying backwards in the air, blood I broke his nose. I busted his nose up. And he was flying backwards and he landed. When he got back up, he was going to come back for more. But then by then the principal had come and they started breaking us up and everything. So, and luckily I didn't get in trouble because the principal called my parents and tried to tell them that I started shit, but they had multiple witnesses. It was like, no, man, Eric didn't start it. Eric just finished it. But the funny part about it is that after that, like I had a reputation. You know what I mean? I had a reputation that was not really, it wasn't earned, but you know how it is. You break somebody's nose and they think, oh, don't mess with him. He'll kick your ass. And so I got away with a lot of stuff in high school because people thought that if they messed with me, I could kick their ass because I swung and broke the dude's nose and won. And now the truth of it is I could have defended myself because I was a black belt in judo, but that's the only punch I ever had to throw. So that reminds me of that guy getting up, weeble wobbly, coming back after him. Sobler says, back in my day. Yep. Back in the day. Yeah. What can you do, right? Vincent says, advanced classes means I was smart. What happened? Yeah. Marriage, kids, that sort of deal. You know what I mean? I spent my intellectual nut on trying to figure out how to raise 3 kids and stay at home at the same time. That's all good though. Yeah, Rosado, he was a lefty. Colby. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good day. My mom was pissed. I told you not to start fights. But we had enough witnesses that said I didn't start it. So now the funny part about that is that I knew the guy. Like, we weren't friends, but we were acquaintances on the fishing pier because we would see each other most weeks on the fishing pier. And years later, when I got out of the Air Force and I was working with my parents for a little bit, there was a sub shop that we would order our food from. And I went in there to pick up everybody's order, and there he was. He was at the front counter, and his nose was, he never got his nose fixed. I effed up his nose permanently. It had a nice dent in it. I kind of felt bad, but he was just like, "What's up?" He didn't say nothing. He didn't know I didn't order from there after that, though. I tell you that. He didn't know, right? So the food was already bagged up. But after that, when they ordered from there, I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to order because, you know, if who knows what he would have done to my sandwich." Hey, Pat, how you doing? Can I get a tuna sub? Yeah, sure, man. I'll make you a tuna sub. No problem. No problem at all. No, I never ordered from there again. Damn it. Metal says, biggest fight I had was with the fly in your bedroom. I used to say, hey, Jaws, meet me after the stream. I got to show you some hands. Oh, man. Nah, my fighting days are over. I could defend myself if I needed to, but you don't, if for any of you guys that have ever trained in martial arts, you know what I mean. You don't lose it. It's a reflex. You absolutely don't lose it. Like, you couldn't go compete. Like, I couldn't go to a tournament. But if somebody, because it's happened to me a couple of times where I've had to defend myself and I didn't even think about it. It's like, boom, boom, they were on the ground. You don't forget. It's in there. You can't change it, really. What would I do now, Simon? Well, I mean, first off, if somebody pulled the chair out from under me now, I'd probably break my hip. So they'd be getting sued. If somebody pulled the chair out from under me right now, I'd be like, oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, I can't walk. They would get taken to court instead of taken outside to school. Rosado, was my girlfriend impressed? You know, back then, Rosado, fighting after school wasn't like a big deal. Like, it happened. You know what I mean? like every day after school, there was at least a fight or two. That was just common practice. Like you would get out of school, and I went to, especially in middle school. I don't know if it's still that way, but I went to Highland Oaks Middle, and when you came out of the school, when you got past the little parking lot and the little road, there was like a ditch. There was a ditch there. It wasn't that deep. You could get down there. And like every day you'd get out of school and there'd be a crowd of people over there by the ditch. And, you know, somebody's fighting every day. Hipless jaws. And yeah, I wish somebody would pull the chair out for one of me now. I could retire. Right? I could retire. What would happen now if I got into a fight, Simon? I don't know. You know, that's the thing. That's why I took judo, because you learn to use other people's size and strength against them. Because a lot of the throws are counterweight, which came in handy because I stopped growing. I was like 5'6" when I was like 12. And then that was it. When you know how you play Little League, like baseball, when I played Little League football when I was 10, 11 years old, I was the offensive lineman and the tight end because I was the big dude. And then I just stopped growing. I was like, that's it. Yeah, I know the Marlins. I've been hearing that. The Marlins are starting to get better. Guitarco says, yeah, I had to quit a job cleaning at a school because they wanted me to break up fights. And at first I thought, what are the odds? But it was often that I caught a few strays, said, screw that job. Yeah, it was normal. If you went to school in the 80s, if there wasn't a fight after school, it's like, that was a boring day. Fight after school and usually a fight when wherever the bus stop was, because all the kids would get – it wasn't like now where it was like, they drop you off a little bit by your house and shit. Back then, it was like you could walk, it's only a mile from here, and they'd let everybody out. And there'd always be a fight. Colin, what are my thoughts about Biz Nasty? I mean, he does what he does, right? He does a good job at playing a character that gets him a lot of attention. And I got nothing bad to say about that. You know what I mean? He comes up with some I wish he would. The only thing I would say about Biz is I wish he would take it a little bit more seriously, in the sense that when he tells people that he thinks something's going to happen or he's hearing something that's going to happen, people take him sometimes seriously, like if they heard it from Friedman or whatever. And I've seen him, he kind of gaslights fans that believe what he's saying. So I did one video like that. Oh, speaking of which, I'll be live tomorrow night. Tonight, live at 8 o'clock, Kyle and I on the football channel, doing the classic Dolphin games. First one's going to be the 81 Chargers playoff game. Tomorrow night, I'll be live on the men's channel at 8 o'clock. Yeah, 11 straight road wins for the Marlins. That crazy. Great White. Yeah, how long was I out of the military before I had kids? 5 years? 6 years. 6 years. Yeah. Might have been closer to 6. 6-ish. Yeah. 7 games behind the wild card. Huh. Am I sad there's no more hockey? Well, I mean, I'd love hockey every day, but I think I don't mind the break. I wish the break was shorter. At least it's not like football, right? Football ends and it's just like you got February and March and April and May and June. I mean, think about it. We just ended hockey. Football's been over for almost 6 months. You know what I mean? and you still got another month before you really got anything going on camp. Guitar, yeah, I used to walk 2 miles to and from school. Yeah, it get hot. If I missed the bus when I went to Highland Oaks, if I missed the bus, I would have to walk over the I-95 overpass at Ives Dairy Road to get home because I lived on the other side. I lived on the west side of the tracks, as Cartman would say. Yeah, the Kellen Winslow game, Matthew. Yeah. That's nice, Vincent. What was I going to? No, it's Rosado. I'm saying I did a video where I did one of those videos last year. Didn't do too well. I'm still trying to figure out. Oh, I don't want to show my legs. I'm still trying to figure out a way to get that men's channel going. Views are not fantastic. Huh. What would Donna think? Donna knows. Trust me, Simon. Donna knows all the stories and then some. Yeah, the NFL offseason never ends. That's for sure. That's the truth of it. But we're almost there. I mean, Dolphin camp, it's not that far from now, right? When does Miami Dolphins training camp start? I mean, yeah, the 28th. Well, 26th. So what's that, 2 weeks? Yeah, close enough. Like 2.5 weeks away from camp. Yeah. So that's not so bad. And I guess the schedule is going to come out, the Panthers schedule. Rosado, yeah, if I made videos about sex, you're right. You're right. Bradley Chubb showed up at your job. That's cool, Pacharo. That's cool. Vincent, how can you miss the bus if you have a ticket? You didn't have a ticket for I'm talking about when you miss the school bus. Talking about when you miss the school bus. School bus will leave your ass. School bus left. If school got out at 2:30, bus leaving at 2:37. You adios, you missed the bus. Not our problem. If I had to play football, Simon, oh, too small. I wouldn't make it 2 plays. Matthew, Dolphins will be lucky to win 8 games. I think 8 is like the max. And that's how I felt before they got rid of Jonnu Smith. I don't know what the hell that team's doing. It's like they brought back McDaniel only to handicap him so they could fire him. It don't make no sense what that team is doing. What does Tua's future look like? I mean, I'd love him to do well, but he probably ends up as a backup on somebody else's team eventually, right? No, I wouldn't teach it. It's been too long, Simon. It's been too long. You know, you're talking 40 years ago, 30, 35. What do I call a cow with no legs? SoFlo, what do I call a cow with no legs? This one I gotta hear. I'm waiting. What do you call a cow with no legs? Oh, why am I afraid to know the answer to that one? I'm thinking. I don't got nothing for it. It's going to be bad. Is this going to be a dad joke? Haven't heard Kyle yet this morning at all. Man. What do you call a cow with no legs? I got nothing. We don't even have any guesses in the chat. Somebody's gonna know. Somebody will know. And yeah, man, they just wanted to fire everybody. I mean, I wish they would fire everybody. We're talking about the Dolphins. Oh my God, so ground beef. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's a dad joke. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Ground beef. Jesus. That's one of those that's so bad it's good. That's bad. That's what it's gotten to. That's where we are. That's okay. By the way, wait a minute. Hold on. No, I mentioned that already. There was something I wanted to mention, but I didn't mention it, and I forgot that I wasn't going to mention it because there's a reason why I can't mention it yet. But next week we have something very interesting coming. I did put out the video yesterday going over the tax stuff, the whole tax-free stuff. So what do we call a cow with two legs? Oh, boy, it's going to be worse, isn't it? Hungry says, for the classic games, are we going to be able to show the game on the stream? No. In fact, it's so bad, Hungry, that I ripped the video off of YouTube and tried to upload it to my own channel as a private video so we would be able to watch it. And even that got blocked, like blocked to the point where you can't see it. So I uploaded it to Google Drive, and I've got a link that's in the comment section of the stream. So that's what we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching the version I have on Google Drive, so there's no commercials, so there's no ads. And then if you guys want to follow along and watch the game where there's no ads, you click the link to the Google Drive. Everybody has access to that video. And then you guys can watch along, and we'll give the timestamps, but there'll be no commercials, right? So everybody, if we start at the same time, we're going to be within a second or two of each other the whole time. So I had wanted to show the game and then just show Kyle and I, like, can't do it. Like, it's not even like they'll just demonetize the video. They just take the whole ass video and delete it. So unfortunately, we won't be able to show it. I couldn't even do a highlight video where we were showing it. And then, so it's a little bit disappointing, but long as that link is there, people should be able to at least follow along. Lean beef. Oh my God, that is worse. That is worse than ground beef. Megasaurus was the name of the Mike. Oh my God, that's it. It's summer, that's for sure. Simon, yeah, I don't know if we're going to do it this weekend. She comes every weekend, but I think that will probably, if we're going to do it, it'd be a Saturday night. Might not be this week because she's working a different shift this week, so she's likely to be kind of tired. But we're going to plan on it, and then we'll put out we'll put out a notice. It won't be much longer though. Zara says, "Why do you think guys get nervous around women?" Well, I think mainly because there's no rhyme or reason. There's no magic bullet to knowing what to say or what to do in order to impress any woman, because it's different with every single solitary one for the most part. And if you listen to what women tell you they want, you're in worse shape than if you just had no idea whatsoever. Because women will know what they want, but they only want it. What the hell do I mean by that? I mean, they only want what they enjoy is the chase. They enjoy the idea of something. But for the most part, they want it. But once they have it, they no longer want it. And men, if the more experience you have with women, the more you realize that the only way to really do it is you just completely be 100% yourself. And the ones that like you, and the rest, there ain't nothing you're ever going to do to fix that anyway. Hungry says, I wonder if I could show it on Twitch since Amazon does have NFL rights and they have to watch together feature. That's interesting. Huh. Well, maybe, but if we it's possible, but we would only be able to stream to Twitch. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Sunshine. Yeah, no, it's my action camera. It is a new camera. Yeah. It's the action camera. I'm still working on trying to figure out if I can get some software that will allow me to crop the picture better, because obviously this shows everything. I wouldn't mind having a little bit tighter, but I'm happy with the picture. We got the sound fixed by getting the regular Yeti mic to work. That every time I plug in the Osmo Action, the computer automatically makes that my default microphone. So every time I plug it in, I have to go into the settings and make the Yeti the default every time. Ottoman says, can't wait to see the 25 championship banner. I hope it says back to back. That was what I was trying to remember. So next week, one of the days next week, in the early part of the week, we're going to have an evening live stream here because I've got a couple packages. I got a few packages of stuff that you all sent. So we're just going to have an evening live stream where we open up the packages. And at that point, I'll open up the sign. I did get it yesterday, but I'm going to wait for the stream to open it up on the stream. Do I follow college football? I grew up being a Hurricanes fan because I lived in Miami, but I don't follow it really much anymore. You know what I mean? Just don't have the memory space in the brain, I guess. I don't know. But no, I mean, I pay attention. People tell me the scores. I pay attention. But I couldn't tell you who the quarterback is. I don't follow it. Kate says, do you know what to tell a man with two black eyes? I believe the answer is you don't need to tell him anything. He's already been told twice. Anthony, I don't think we're going to get any updates on Erod. There may never be an update on Erod. If Chucky goes on LTIR, he doesn't have to leave. The Samoskevich thing, the only thing that I can think of that's holding that up is if Tkachuk goes on LTIR for the whole season, then they would be able to give Samoskevich a better deal, and he wouldn't have to sign the cheaper deal. That's my guess as to why Samoskevich hasn't signed yet. Craig says, yeah, confidence is key. Andy said, Jaws one of the hardest creatures to understand. Even if you do, they're still going to be upset. Just don't touch it. The happiest you will ever be as a man is when you understand and recognize that you're not going to understand women. It ain't never going to make any sense. If you try to make it make logical sense, you will be miserable. Don't try to understand women. Anticipate them. If you can anticipate the reactions that she's going to have, then you can get ahead of things. And that's how you pay attention. And then that's how you're able to keep things from going awry. But if you're waiting to understand, ain't never going to happen. Great White, any plans of moving Donna in? So the honest answer to that question, Great White, is that she works an hour away. I need to double my income so that she can move in and she don't have to worry about working because it's too far for her to work. And it's not like, I mean, she could come here and get a kind of a part-time job or whatever, but what we want is for her to move in so she can help me with what I'm doing here with YouTube and eBay. But that's part of the reason why I'm trying to get that men's channel going, get the football channel going. I gotta make more money. But as soon as that happens, yeah, she's here. That's legitimately the only thing that's stopping it from happening right now. And I mean, I could stop the channels and go get a job, but I don't. She doesn't want me to do that. She doesn't want me to do that. So that's the story there. Yeah, you're all invited to Jaws' wedding. Exactly. Sarko says, I get nervous because of my past trauma in school. I asked a girl out, even though she kindly said no. A lot of classmates found out. Oh, that sucks. Jeez, that sucks. That's wild. That's wild, man. What the hell is wrong with kids? Dang, man. That was like a badge of honor back in my day. You know? And that's how I would suggest handling it. I know that's easier said than done. But man, you can't, I get it. I do get it. You can't let that get to you. You have to channel that energy a different way. Wesley, yeah, Donna and I ain't going anywhere. Bungie says, maybe I could do a reaction to the Inside the NHL series on Twitch. Helps it grow the channel. I should be able to show it since it's a prime series. I'll have to check that out. How I usually test it is I do a test stream. You know what I mean? I do a private stream, and then YouTube will tell me pretty quick. The bots don't play around. Am I going to start doing a joke before I leave? Probably not. Jokes aren't my strong suit. Andrew, no, the cap rule goes into play next year. So we still have one more year of basically a free-for-all. Oh, boy. Soflo's got a joke. Guy walks into a bar, pulls out a tiny man playing the piano. Bartender asks, what's the deal? He says, out back there's a genie. Bartender goes outside, runs back in with ducks chasing after him. He says, WTF, I think that genie is half deaf. I asked for $1 million, not ducks. I says, yeah, I know, but you think I asked for a 10-inch pianist? Beautiful. Love it. Greg says, it's also tremendous help if you share common interests beyond the physical attraction. That's very much true. Very much true. Yeah, get the OnlyFans going, right? Oh, what's the worst job I've ever had? Chicken hanging. I wrote a story about it in the book. I worked for a chicken hanger. I worked for a chicken processing company plant for about 3 hours. Yeah. That's the first line as the chickens come in. You were downstairs in this loud, wet basement. And I mean loud. And the chickens are coming by on a conveyor belt, and up above is another conveyor belt of hooks. And you have to grab the chickens and flip them upside down and hang them up by their feet as they go by. And let's just say there's a reason why you wear a mask and a hairnet and gloves. It was horrible. Ever thought about doing the podcast, trying to get featured on other podcasts just for exposure and all that? That's something I'm trying to do this summer. That's another angle I'm trying to take. You guys would be, well, maybe you wouldn't be, but everything moves so damn slow. You know what I mean? Everything you try to do just moves so damn slow. What do I give a man? What do I give a man with 2 divorces? I'm not sure about that. Make Kyle and Donna compete for a co-host spot. I don't think Kyle could work harder though. He does a good job. He does a good job. He calls. I mean, when we're doing the playoffs, there's some nights he's calling 2-3 games, and he's calling them. Yeah, okay, the kids can be cruel. Some never grew up out of high school. Yeah. Yeah, if Amazon does a documentary, that would be nice. Well, they had last year's, though, right? I would assume they're going to have another one this year. We need a Jaws book tour. I still haven't started writing the second one yet. I've got so many things I'm trying to do. I got my hands in too many. Masseuse chicken hanger. Yeah, holy crap. Thank you, Great White. God damn. Brother, thank you, Great White. Holy crap. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother. And that is exactly the help, my friend. Thank you, brother. Holy Jesus. Much appreciated, man. Damn. Thank you, Great White. There'll be another one coming out around the time of the start of the season. Yeah, thank you, man. She says this is Sharks territory. Well, I'll tell you. Hungry says it'll be fun to watch McJesus throw a fit again. I mean, what is he going to do? To me, that's most, other than the Panthers possibly three-peating, to me, that's the most interesting thing coming up into this NHL season, is because, like, they, on one hand, Edmonton can't risk losing him for nothing. On the other hand, McDavid's got a no-move clause to stop. You give the man dinner and the number to a good psychologist, Utterman. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Adonis, what? Wow. Hey, Adonis. Yeah, exactly. This is Sharks territory. Exactly, Great White. Exactly, bud. Hungry says, I got a sneaking suspicion it'll come down to McDavid saying it's either me or Bowman. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Jeez, I hadn't thought of it that way. You would kind of think that's a really good point, because you would kind of feel like Bowman is sticking his head on the platter and saying, I'm rolling with Skinner and Picard. Right? Like he could have gone out. I mean, they traded Gibson. He could have gone out and tried to make a deal. So if they end up rolling with Skinner and Picard, it's kind of putting his nuts on the table there, you know? Well, she lives too far. I live too far away from where she works, Simon. I mean, she could do it for a little. She could do it for a month or two at the most. But you're talking about an hour and 15-minute drive each way for her. That's a lot. That's too much. That's too much for me to ask. Yeah, Bowen has done a pretty shit job in getting him the help he needs to win, right? I agree. Andrew says the Oilers aren't getting any better. All these guys are only making more money from here. Drysdale was 14. I knew Bouchard 10.5. McDavid, I mean, you got to give McDavid at least 15, right? I mean, that's what, 29, 30, it'd be 40 million between three guys. Almost half the cap. Exactly, Adonis. Yeah. I says they just need a gimmick to grow the channel. Hockey guy has dry erase board. Dangle has his crazy Joker laughs. Jaws has mega muscles from lifting. I was hoping the puppets would do it, but that didn't happen. I was hoping the puppets would. I don't quit. I don't quit. Exactly. Yeah, Hungry. The nurse contract is a massive albatross. That's true. Kate says McDavid will most likely regress. 2 losses in the finals, has to cut into one soul. It definitely has to be hard, man. Like if you got married and then met somebody else I love, I trust, all of that, and got married again, and then they cheat on you. It's like, but I already tried again. You know what I mean? It's like I already opened myself back up and tried again. And now it's like, damn, 2 years in a row to the same team. That probably will have an effect. Donna says Gibson wouldn't work for the Oilers due to cap space. But what's funny is they gave away Gibson to free to $6 million, only to take on more money with Mrazek and extending Husso. I know. Maybe Gibson wanted to leave. So what's my take on walking versus jogging? Well, when I was a young man, I had an apartment on Hallandale before the Intercoastal. And about 4 times a week, I would jog over the causeway onto the beach, jog a couple miles, and then jog home. So it was a 7.5-mile jog 3 to 4 times a week when I was young. And then my body discovered knees, and now I just walk. But this summer, man, I was walking, after everything that went down last year, I was walking, 10, 12, sometimes 15 miles a night, about 4 or 5 nights a week in my yard. To me, I prefer to walking because of my age, but the freedom of being able to get places quicker because of the jogging, it was nice to just be able to jog out to the beach and not have any issues. Johnson says not only those 3 guys with the Oilers, but Nurse is almost 10 million too. Now try adding a goalie like at 5 or 6 million. No, I know. It's crazy. So Otterman says the Hurricanes are betting favorites to win the Cup. So here's the theory that I heard on that, Otterman. What I've been told by a couple of people is the reason why the Canes consistently end up as the betting favorite is because they have the easiest path in Vegas's opinion. They have the easiest path to the conference finals. So what the logic is that since the Canes have such an, in their opinion, an easier path to the conference finals, that if they made the odds not good enough, teams bettors could then hedge their bets and win either way. So it's, from what I was told, it's not necessarily a reflection of them thinking they're actually going to win the cup, but when they're going by odds, the assumption is Carolina has the best odds to get to the conference finals because they go through the Metro. That's what I've been told by a couple of people. Andrew, yeah, I kind of agree about the Habs. Yeah, they got to figure out goalie. I don't know if Dobish is going to be the guy or what, but I agree about the Habs. Exactly. Totally agree, John. Did I hear the Oilers overpaid for Bouchard because they feared another team was going to offer sheet him? I did not hear that. Jeez. Well, they lost guys last year because of the offer sheet, right? Again, it's just hard to pay your guys that much money. Yeah, the Canes, you said the Canes should have offer sheeted Bouchard to be next to Slavin. Yeah, well, that would have been crazy. Yeah, exactly, Val. Nurse and Bouchard making $20 million combined. Ekblad and Forsling making what? 12-ish? Just about 12 combined, right? So Ekblad, in fact, Ekblad, Forsling, and Jones combined is not equal to Nurse and Bouchard. I believe that statement is accurate. Ekblad, Forsling, and Jones combined, what we're paying Jones is not equal to Nurse and Bouchard. That's wild. That is wild. All right, everybody, I'm going to roll. Tonight, 8 o'clock over on the football channel, Colin and I will be live. We're going to be having a watch party for the Miami Dolphins, San Diego Chargers 1981 Classic playoff game. I'm going to be doing the whole thing. It'll be quicker than a normal stream because it won't have commercials and it won't, I'm not going to be taking much of a break. So maybe halftime we'll take a minute or two to get a drink or whatever it is. So we'll be live doing that. And then I'll be back here at noon tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, live on the men's channel. Tomorrow is 1 year from Fluffy's passing. So I'll be live over on the men's channel. And Ray White says, what's my dream Super Bowl? You like to see Bucks Dolphins? Well, obviously it would include the Dolphins. Who would I like to see? I'd love to see us beat the Cowboys. I'd love to see the Cowboys fans get so hot and bothered that they made the Super Bowl only to lose to the Dolphins. Yeah. That would be my dream Super Bowl. So, yeah, 1 year tomorrow for Fluffy. So, hey, we're still kicking. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the love and support. Much, much, much appreciated. And Kyle and I will see you tonight over on the football channel, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.